Hi, I'm Max Perez from Digital Octopus, and today I'm gonna show you guys how to install an aftermarket rear view camera on a 2012 Camaro. Come and follow me, and let's not waste any more time. So when you get the camera for the 2010 and the 2014, 2015, they're actually a little bit different. As you can see, the 2014, 2015 camera is a lot bigger as far as the plastic housing goes, but the camera size is the same, and then the wires are exactly the same. So this installation is going to cover everything. All right, so first we're going to start with the camera, and of course this is our camera. This goes in the license plate light bulb. I'll show you that here in the car, and that goes like right under here on the passenger side, right? Then we have our RCA cable with a little pigtail wire, and then this pigtail wire would send power from the head unit to the camera, and the RCA will send the signal from the camera to the head unit. Lastly, we have our power cable, and this is how we're going to feed power to the camera. Okay, I'm going to use only one tool for this installation. That's all you need, and it's a wire stripper. You could get one of these in Amazon, eBay, local, Advanced Auto Parts. This is a real fancy one. This is about 20 bucks, but you could get one, you know, a lot cheaper. We just want you to be able to strip those wires and not have any issues while you're doing it. So get a nice one like this, or again, if you're not comfortable doing this installation, you could always take this to any local sound audio places near you, and they should be able to install this with no issues. This is a very simple installation process. Okay, again, we're gonna use our stripping tool and some electrical tape. Electrical tape I don't have right here because we're out for this demonstration. I'm just gonna leave it flat open so you don't get confused, or you know, we don't get lost in translation. So I'm just gonna make this video as simple as I can, and then once you learn what to do here, then you could go ahead and apply it in your car. All right, so first what we're gonna do is we're gonna strip these wires. We're gonna give it about an inch of strip here, and some of these wires already come with the little tip off. Even if it's a little bit stripped, go ahead and take your splicing tool and add, you know, an inch to it. And I'm telling you because we had a customer where he was complaining that his radio, that his camera rather wasn't working, and he thought that it was the radio. He wanted to return the radio. Turns out that the gentleman had two wires just like this, and all he did was this wire was not stripped. So there's no way you're gonna get power to that. So we found this out via a FaceTime call. You know, when we call them for tech support, something that we do for people that having issues with connection, we could, you know, you could always count on us to call you via FaceTime, and you know, we could explain. But yeah, so there's no connection here, so there's no way you could get power to that. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take off about an inch or so from the tip, and then we're gonna do something very different here. We're gonna take the black wire and we're just gonna cut that off. That's the ground wire. We will not be needing the ground wire for this camera, right? So, and yes, it sounds very weird, but this camera has grabs the ground from the RCA. It's like it doesn't need it. You'll see it at the end. So now we have our our power cord, sorry, and then we have the ground cut off and just the red wire with 1 inch. So that's what that should look like. Now we're gonna take our RCA, and both RCAs are exactly the same. Here's the other one, and they both have the same pigtail. One of them goes to the back of the car, one goes to the front. So we're gonna start with the back cable here, and we are again gonna take about an inch from it. Half an inch is fine as long as we have some space here. So this way we could grab them and we could twist them together. So now I'm gonna grab my power cable, the red one, and I'm gonna make a connection here with the red one here. Once that's ready, we're gonna put some tape, or you could put a shrink tube so it could be nice and neat. And we're just gonna put this on the side for now. Actually, we can just go ahead and plug that in. So we have our camera here, and we have our cable that we just connected. That's the power, and we're just gonna plug that in right in there. And we're gonna take our RCA, plug it in right in there. So with that done, with this little process that we did here, the back of the car is ready to go. So you can go ahead and put that wire through your car, click this in. The best way to go, the way I did it was I kind of just ran the cable under the car, and there's like a little hole right around here where you could just come out and push that RCA in through the back of the trunk, run the wire to the sides, go into the glove compartment, right? We're gonna go under all this plastic, into the glove compartment and onto the head unit. So we're gonna put this on the side. So back of the radio is done. Again, this is what that looks like. We have our RCA connector, and then we have our power cable, and we are only connecting the positive, right? So we're gonna tape that up or put a shrink tube on that. So back is done. Now onto the front. So this is all that's left to connect, right? And once you connect these two little pieces, the connection is complete. So we're gonna again strip this wire, and now I'm gonna start with the DO 1015 and the CC 1015. They are both exactly the same. They both have the same harness, and they are both exactly the same in the back. So look, all the wires on the CC 1015 fit the DO 1015 Slim, right? So I'm talking about the CC 1015 Slim. We have another CC 1015, which is the first model here, the one that you guys are more familiar with, and this is the first model from like 2 years ago. And this one is also the same because it has the same harness. It uses the same harness, same connection, and I'll show you guys how to do that too as well too, right? The only one that is different is the DOTS 1015 that has a different way to connect it, but it's actually even easier than these two here. So I'm gonna start with my harness, and we're gonna look for the brown wire. It's the third wire from left to right if you have the little tab on top. Be careful that there is another brown wire, but that brown wire has black in it and it says key 2. You do not want to touch that. We want to look for the brown wire, just like this. So over here I already had made a little strip on it because I was kind of creating the video before, but I didn't like how it came out. But we're gonna do it again. So we're gonna take our tool and we're gonna just strip that right in there. And I did it halfway between the CAN bus, where the CAN bus goes, and the harness. This way, if you cut here and you accidentally break the wire, you can always go back, you know, right here, and you know, you could mend those two together here, right in the center. You have more play space here. Okay, so now we have our harness. Like I said, we're gonna take the third wire from left to right on the top where the tab is at, and that's the brown wire. We're gonna go down the middle, like right here where you have the most slack, and we're gonna just do a splice. Let me see if I could get this focused for you. So we're gonna do a splice right in here. There you go. So there's that splice. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna connect our pigtail wire with the RCA. We're gonna connect it right to this. So let's go ahead and do that. Let me zoom the camera back out. wire to wire, bare wire to bare wire. And that's a perfect connection right there. Let me see if I can focus in. There you go. So that's what that should look like. Then we're gonna put some tape on it, and that's it. Okay, so the last one that we have left is the RCA wire, and I will show you how to connect that on a CC1015 or in DO1015. Again, it's the same thing. So once we have our connection ready, we're just gonna plug in the wire here, the electrical. And if you already had your electrical, you should already know how to do this. We have our camera here, so that's the only wire we have left. For the DO1015 and CC1015, you will connect your RCA to a single wire that has no label on it, right? It's a single yellow wire, but you could identify this wire with because it has two long wires. One of them says TX, the other one says RX, I believe. And then over here it has two little purple wires that are cut off. We don't need those, but again, it's by itself. So that one's gonna be easy to spot, and that goes here. If you're looking at it from, from the back, it will be the top left. So I'm gonna zoom in, make sure that clicks in. And then you have your two RCAs, and all you have to do is just plug those in, and you are done. The connection is done. When you drop your car on reverse, the brown wire is gonna send a power signal to your camera. Your camera is gonna turn on, and the CAN bus is actually gonna send a signal to the radio telling it that the car is on reverse, and it will switch the display, so it will show you the rear view camera. Okay, so that covers the DO1015 and the CC1015 on how to connect the camera. I'm gonna go ahead and jump on the DOTS1015, which is pretty easy, and I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect these here. So I'm just gonna drop this back here. So now we have our DOTS1015, and on the back of this radio, let me get this closer for you, we have our RCA, which is our cameras in. So this one here will say S-Cam, and this one will say camera. You will connect your rear view camera to the one that says camera. S-Cam is second camera, so that if you have a front camera, you could connect that here. And this power that says cam 12 volt, that's for the second camera. So this one is different, right? So I'm sorry about that. So we're gonna go here to our camera. I'm gonna push this back a little bit, and we are gonna take our RCA. Again, we're in front of the car, so now we have our RCA and our power. The power is going to be a lot easier to grab from this head unit, because on the main power, which goes up here, we have a harness, and then this harness already has a reverse wire, which is this one here, which is the brown one, same one. We're going to go ahead, we're going to strip the end. We're gonna strip it off just as we did on the other one, and we're gonna tie those together. So let me pull this on the side here. So we're gonna strip this together. Make sure you put some tape on this or a shrink tube. We don't want this touching any part of the car, because this will be live electricity. And then lastly, we have our RCA, and that goes into camera, and we'll plug that in, and that will be your connection for the rear view camera for the DOTS1015. So that's pretty much it. Pretty simple installation. I'm gonna go ahead and plug this head unit here. I'm gonna turn it on just so you can see how the camera works, and that it works with the even with the negative off. So I'm gonna put this radio on the side. Alright, so here we have our head unit on, and I'm just gonna go ahead into auxiliary because I connected this camera into the auxiliary since we don't have a shift gear to tell it to go to reverse. So there it is, there's the camera, and it's fully functional. Here's that little car again, there you go. This is the DOC 1013. This is for Camaros 2010 to 2013, and this is the DOC 1415, designed for Camaros 2014 and 2015. They're both the same on the back, so the connections are the same. So just a quick run through again. So we have the camera here, we have the RCA that connects to here, and we have the power that connects to there. Red goes with red, black wire gets cut off. We go to the front of the radio, to the front of the car rather, and you are gonna connect your RCA to the one wire with no label on it, and you should be able to recognize it. It's the only single wire that looks like this, and this is both on the CC1015 Slim and the DO1015. For the older version of the CC1015, sorry, I have it upside down, it will say it here. It should be port number 9, rear view input, and that will connect right up here. It's the one on top. So that will be your this is where you connect the RCA, and the brown you will connect it to the red rather, you will connect it to the brown wire that we did from here earlier. So that's pretty much it, guys. You guys have a great day. Again, if you have any questions, digitaloctopusradio.com, bottom right, chat with us. Any of us could answer any questions. Just send it to us and we'll be glad to answer any concerns, any questions, anything that comes up. I'll catch you guys on the next video.